Shalom, Yasharala. I want to give infinite honors to Yahweh Yahweh Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and salutation to you sincere I can push in this truth across the four winds without fear and trembling. In this topic, I'm going to get off in the respect of persons in the camp. The Most High pull us out of different walks of life. You know, if it wasn't for this truth, a lot of brothers in this truth wouldn't even cross paths, you know, and that's what makes the operations of Yahweh Shai so beautiful, you know, because you get different brothers in different camps, and you got to learn how to treat a fellow king and honor a fellow king, although y'all might have different outlooks and views on life. But when you come in this truth, we got that one spirit that dwells with everybody, is supposed to be dwelling in everybody, and you got to learn how to deal with brothers. Like the scriptures say, honor the brotherhood, the second and greatest commandment, which reads, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. All right. And that's how you perfect your craft the way. And that's what the Most High is going to judge us by, how you deal with another brother. Because building up the kingdom of heaven is all about loving one another and serving one another. So with that being said, in this truth, man, you have brothers that the Most High pour his spirit on different. You know, he might pour his spirit on a brother, and the brother might be well-rounded in the scriptures and history. But to another brother might not get this thing as fast as that brother. All right. He might just be holding a sign and reading. And then when it come time to study, he just don't get it as fast. All right. You still have to honor that brother like a general. You still have to honor that brother like you would honor the head of a camp. All right. The Most High deals with order. If a younger brother come in and all right, he's more well versed than a brother that's been in that camp. 1 Corinthians 14:40 says, do all things decently in order. All right. And the order in this thing is when brothers come in, that's the rankage you're in, unless the head of the camp or someone demotes a brother, or he puts another brother up. All right, and tells the camp, but look, this guy's going to be in this position. That guy's going to be in that position. Now, if that doesn't happen, you have to, no matter who you are, you have to follow the established order and formula here. How about Shemal Shah put in order? And that's it. And that is when a brother comes in the camp, that's going to be his lot. All right, the brother that comes in after him, that's going to be his lot. So if a brother comes in after a brother and he's more well knowledgeable with him in the scripture, he still has to respect that brother's office. Okay, you still have to respect that brother as a general. Like like for instance, in camp, if a younger brother is talking, an older brother can interject. Okay. Now, you don't be an asshole about it. You just don't be a tyrant, being an overlord over a brother. But that's the way it is. Like, if you see one of the younger brothers in the main camp, when you just in this thing hours, you learn as you go. And Paul said, be ye followers of me. So when we look at the main camp, all these years we've been teaching, you see a younger brother teach, and the younger brother might be getting in. But Elder Tahar, Elder Gabar come in, they might just interject and just take over. You know, that's the way this thing always is. It's nothing personal, it's business. And that's how it rolls. So it goes like that in this camp, you know. In all the camps, Salakia, if a older brother is speaking, if a younger brother is speaking and an older brother comes in and interjects, all right, that's the Most High prescribed order. That he's not out of order for doing that. But if you have younger brothers, they don't know, so they have to learn as they go. If you have an older brother, a younger brother that come on, Jake Short, Jake peeps game, all right, but all Jake isn't spiritual. Jake has carnal understanding through the roof. The Most High, even when he picked men out the world, he be picking guys that are sharp, that are quick on their feet. So Jake might come in and see that he's more scripturally advanced than the guy, but he will cross the Most High's prescribed order, because He'll see he's more scripturally advanced than a older brother. And when the older brother interjects, or when the older brother talking, the younger guy interject over him, or the other guy say something, you'll tell him to wait. Nah, that's not how this thing always roll, man. You gotta honor all men. You gotta whatever place you came in, you gotta keep that. All right, you gotta keep that. Even if a brother's being slothful and the brothers have a few vices that's coming that has him for serving Yahweh Shem Shai the way he's supposed to, you still have to follow that prescribed order until an order comes down. He's still in that spot until he's been demoted, exiled, kicked out, suspended. You still have to respect that order, okay? And that's the way and that goes for all of these camps, man. The Most High put order in this thing of ours for a reason, and those orders have to be followed. All right, because when you're a younger brother and you might do those type of things, that show you the reason you're a younger brother. That show you don't understand the order. That show you your wisdom. Although you can memorize a lot of precepts, and your study habits are through the roof. That show you spiritually with your wisdom, that your knowledge base can be high, but your wisdom can be low, on a low level, a low frequency. Because the first thing you learn in this thing is order and how to deal with brothers. All right, and you'll know if you're offending brothers. All right, there's no respect of persons in this camp. If an older brother asks you to read, you read. All right. If an older brother tell you to go over there and hold a sign, you hold a sign. All right. And then if one older brother tell you to do something and you do it, then another older brother tell you to do something and you shuck and jive with it, or you do it with a foul spirit on you, man. That show you're on a lower level. Okay. We treat every man like a king. We treat every man like a general. Okay, but in that we the most of all, you follow Yahweh Shem Shai's order. All right, so I'm going through a few precepts and to back up what I'm saying. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 12. I'm gonna start at verse 4. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. The Most High gives every brother different things. I mean, we one body. You got your toes don't do what your eyes do. Your hair don't do what your triceps do. All right, it's different offices, but it's still one spirit, one body. And there are difference of administrations, but the same Lord. Brothers do different things. All right. When a topic come out and brother had them signs or whatever topic come, they locked in the spirit. If a brother talking about the radio frequency identification chip, he might put the slavery sign down and then pick up the mark of the beast sign. If a brother talking about the martial law being implemented, then the brother put down the chip sign and pick up the civil unrest and concentration camp sign. You see what I'm saying? So that brother's locked in with the spirit, man. He's locked in, but his office is different than a brother out there speaking and teaching. Okay? But he's still a general. He's still a king. The brother that's on the side looking so nobody could sneak up on us. You have two brothers on the end. They not saying nothing. They just watching other brothers back. What's the camp without them? You need them. So nobody sneak in behind brothers and try to do something wicked. All brothers are the same, man. We're that one body, man. Okay? And there are diversities of operations. And when the Most High poured Spirit on us, he poured on different brothers differently. He might give another brother more here. Another brother might be heavy in knowledge, but when it comes to applying that knowledge, he's weak. He's weak. And another brother might not have that knowledge heavy, but when it comes to wisdom and understanding these things and understanding the formula of things, he's through the roof. You see what I'm saying? But the same power which worketh it all in all. You see what I'm saying? That's the way the Most High do things. He gives different brothers things differently, and whatever the Most High give to you, you have to know how to work it to the best of your ability and rock out in the spirit and not in carnality. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. You see what I'm saying? If the Most High give you a heavy spirit on with the breakdowns, with the precepts, you good with history and diversity of languages. All right, man, you use it to profit the men of the Lord. I mean, to profit the elect, to build up the kingdom of heaven. All right. And doing those things, you don't get no haughty spirit. And the brother that can't do what you do as well, you show respect of persons when you just deal with somebody else's that you think is on your level or whatnot. You'll have a brother that's not scripturally advanced, but when it comes to being a brother and dealing with this truth, man, he's more profitable than the guy that's scripturally advanced. You see that all throughout the truth. Look at Yardan. You got brothers that was in the Yardan was a precept extraordinaire, breakdown extraordinaire. He could rightly divide the scriptures. But when it came to being a brother, the second greatest commandment and fearing Yahweh Shema Shai, he was on a low fucking level. He didn't know shit. And you had guys that you never seen spoke. And when the camp speak about that person, they speak about the brother that you never hear open his mouth in a high esteem and high regard. Okay? So brothers, you got to watch out how you deal with other brothers in this truth, man. You treat every brother the same. All right? There's no respect of persons in this truth. A respect of a person is a niggard. He's no different than a slothful nigger not studying, not applying himself. Okay? For one, it's given by the spirit of the word of wisdom, but to another, the word of knowledge by the same spirit. That's what I'm talking about. All right. You might have a brother that's his memory is strong. He remembers everything. But when it comes to the spirit of the word of wisdom, he's weak. You see, he might not know how to apply the word. You see what I'm saying? All the knowledge he has. He might just remember precepts on certain topics, heavy. Okay. To another, faith by the same spirit. Then you might have a brother. He's not strong in wisdom, applying wisdom. He might not be strong in knowledge, but his faith is through the roof. He believes in Yahweh Shema Shai. He believes what he hears. His faith is that one that moves mountains. All right. To another, gifts of healing and the same spirit. So the Most High give us different office, different lots, but we're one spirit. So when you're dealing with brothers, you can't have no respect of a person because you think you're on a level and another brother's not. If you're more scripturally advanced than a brother that's been in this thing 3 to 4 more years than you still have to submit to that brother. All right? You still have to respect him as a general, as a king. All right? In fact, your knowledge base, your study skills, if anything, you go help that brother if you feel you're more scripturally advanced than him. All right? But when it comes to following that prescribed order, you still got to be ready to submit to him. If that brother's speaking, you don't tell him to hold on. No, that's not the way this thing goes. You still have to submit to that older brother. All right? If he's being a sloth and he's not applying himself, then that's for the older brothers to handle. You still have to respect him as a general. The Most High expels sloths. He expels niggas. Niggas don't stay. But the Most High checks out how a brother's going to deal with it. How are you going to deal with it? All right? All right. Let me go to Romans 2, verse 11. A lot of times I don't write down my script precepts I use, like even with telephone numbers. Brothers be like, you don't got me locked in. I'll be like, no, man, when we were younger, when we used to write numbers down on pen and pads and stuff, you remember how we used to remember so many numbers? But when you lock numbers in, when you lock them in your phone and just put that name, you don't remember that number. A lot of my brothers' numbers, I know them by heart. But if I would have locked their number in using, putting their name and locking it in the phone, you would never remember. Technology cripples. And a lot of times that's how I do in my sit downs. I like remember them in my mind and having them in my memory cortex. That way I remember them, instead of writing them down. It strengthens your memory. All right, this Romans 2:11. All right. There is no respect of persons with the Most High. See, the Most High is the one that's poured out his spirit on brothers. He's the reason a brother is the way a brother is. All right? So when our great king, when he came and dealt with Peter, Paul, James, Thomas, they were on different levels. But guess what? Yahweh Shah washed all their feet. He washed all their feet. He fed all of them. He took care of all of them. He taught every one of them everything he knew. It wasn't no partiality when he dealt with them. Okay? Now you had the order. You had the order because when he would go somewhere, sometimes he would just take John, Peter, and James, the older brothers. All right? Yeah, it was always order, but he treated from the least to the greatest of them as generals, as kings. Okay? It wasn't no partiality the way he dealt with brothers. And that's how we have to be in this thing always. All right? This is Leviticus 19, verse 15. You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. When you make judgments on brothers, be it big or small, a brother might not be in trouble just the way you deal with a brother. If an older brother is speaking and you don't cut him off, but another older brother is speaking, and when he's speaking, you don't deal with him like you're dealing with the other brother, that's wicked. That's a niggard. You're being a niggard. Okay? You're being a niggard. All right? Thou shalt not respect the persons of the poor, nor honor the persons of the mighty. Okay? And that's talking about when you're dealing with brothers. All right? But in righteousness shall thou judge thy neighbor. All right? So what is righteousness? According to the commandments. All right? You deal with a brother like he's Yahweh Shai. All right? Let me get another precept. You deal with a brother like that's Yahweh Shai next to you. Nobody gonna play with Yahweh Shai, man. This is First Peter 2:17. The scripture reads, honor all men. And it's talking about when they say all men, every brother in the brotherhood, all right? Love the brotherhood and fear the king. Honor the king. So the scriptures say honor all men. And the way you fear the king is by honoring all men. When he told Peter, feed my lambs, feed my sheep. So when he's feeding the sheep, you're serving them, you're honoring them. All right? And this is what the scriptures say, servants, be subjected to your masters. This prescribed order with all fear. All right? Your older brother that's over you, he's a master to you. All right? Not just the head of your camp, the prescribed order. The brothers that's above me, I have to submit to them with all fear and trembling. Now, we're not assholes. When I don't agree with some older brother say, I bring it to his attention. I'll be like, I don't agree with that. Can you break that down? But I do it with respect and honor. See, this is not a Christian dictatorship. When you see something you don't like, you can speak on it. A king can speak to another king. But when the older brother makes a judgment and say this is what it is, then you respect it. You respect it. Like I made a couple of videos and my brother told me to take the motherfuckers down. It was some things I ain't like. He ain't like what I said in them. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. But, even though I didn't agree with it, I took the video down. That's the way this thing always rolled, man. Okay? Servants be subject to your masters with all fear. Not only to the good and gentle. Brothers have different personality traits. Some brothers you're not going to get along with. Some brothers you're not going to see eye to eye with. But what the scripture say, still, it don't say because you don't agree with what he do. It still says be subject to him with all fear. All right? It say not only to the good, not only to the one you get along with, and the gentle, the one that you like the way he deal with you, but also to the forward, the one you might not like how he rock out. You might like how he talk to you. All right? For this is thankworthy, if a man of good conscience toward Yahweh endure grief, suffering wrongfully. Okay, they get into something else. But yeah, even when a brother rebukes you and you feel like you're wrong, you're right. All right, and let's say you might be right, but you don't go against him and rebuke an elder. You might tell a brother, man, I respectfully don't agree with your judgment, but whatever you say goes, bro. Like look at Uriah up in Chicago, Elder Uriah. That brother was put out the camp, man. All right, and now look at the guy that got him put out the camp. He's out the camp teaching some nonsense, a straight demon, and now Uriah is back in the camp, and he's an elder in the camp. That means he suffered wrongfully, but he didn't buck up against the system. He just went out and kept teaching. All right, and that's how we got to do. We got to follow the Most High's prescribed order, man. I'm gonna leave out with the book of James, man. James touches on that topic. And that's the another beautiful thing about the scripture. It touches on everything, every aspect of life. It's like water. Like if you pour water in a vessel, that water just goes and takes the shape wherever it is. Like if you have a tidal wave and it runs into a tall building and the water rises, it's gonna touch every part of that building, no matter what shape and size the building is. Water is gonna and oil is the same way. The scripture is likened to oil. It's just gonna go in every crevice. Nothing's not gonna miss it. It's not gonna miss anything. All right, this is James chapter 2 verse 1. Akim, have not faith of our Mashiach Yahushua the anointed, the Lord of glory, with respect to persons. All right, we don't do that in this truth. All right, that's a no. That's niggard shit. For if there come to you an assembly, a man with the gold ring and goodly apparel, and there also come a poor man in vile raiment. So we could liken that to a brother that's heavy in the scriptures. He's an older brother, but then you got a younger brother who's weak in the spirit. All right. He's weak in the spirit. He's weak in history, but he's a part of this thing ours, and he's older than you. Okay, both of them are older than you. Get that analogy, and you have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing, and say it to him, and you have a respect to the older brother, and you hey bro, come here, bro. But when you look at the younger brother, you don't treat him the same as you treat the older brother. That's nigga shit. Sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand thou out here under my footstool. All right? That's nigga shit. Are ye not partial in yourselves, and become judges of evil thought? That's wicked. That's wicked. We treat every brother like a general. Hearken, my beloved Akim. Now look, this James, he's just letting you know this wicked, but look, he's still treating you, the brothers that do shit like that, like brothers. He's enlightening them. Look, that's not how you do things, brother. Have not the Most High chosen the poor of this world, which is rich in faith? You have a brother that don't have a great knowledge base in this truth, but when you're in need, you in need, he there. Something happened, you go to war, he right there on your side. His actions links up with the scriptures. The things he do link up with the scriptures. You might have a precept extraordinaire, and his actions is nigga shit. Okay? The Most High ways is higher than our ways. That's why we got to just follow his prescribed order the best we can. And heirs of the kingdom, which have promised to them that love him. And that word love is synonymous with obedience. But you have despised the poor. Do not rich man oppress you and draw before you judgment seats. All right? But that goes in another topic. But yeah, I was using that analogy, man. We treat every brother like a general. Honor the brotherhood. Honor all men. Okay? We don't have respect of persons in this thing. In this thing ours, man, every brother is a king. The Most High say, I'm raising up a nation of priests and kings. All right? Those minor prophets, like you got Haggai and the book of Obadiah was just one chapter. Then you had Ezekiel and Isaiah with those 20, 30 chapters in their books. All right. Obadiah get treated just like a king, although his book was just one chapter. Hell, Isaiah had 50-some chapters. All right, 60-something. You see what I'm saying? So both of them get treated. Both of them get that crown. Both of them get that crown, man. So you treat both of those brothers the same, So with that, I'm going to give infinite honors to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua. Double honors to the Akim. All of these brothers pushing this truth with fear and trembling. All of the Akim. Honor all of those brothers. And salutation to you, sincere Akim, Salaki. Salutation to you, sincere Akim, pushing this truth with fear and trembling. DTA, Abab Abal, Death to America, and Kwam Yasharala. We at the end. Shalom.